All right, what's going on, everybody? This one's gonna probably be a pretty short video. I'm gonna be doing a kind of a quick review of this Masterforce 1/2" impact. It's brushless and it came in a kit with the 4 amp-hour battery. I've used this a few different times on my truck already for doing some other repairs, just upgrading parts and pieces to it. It's got quite a bit of features on it. It's got a little LED on the front to help kind of light up wherever you're working. And then it's also got 3 modes, technically 4, I guess. So you've got a low, middle, and high for your torque settings. And then if you press and hold, it gives you an auto stop feature. So after a certain point of tightening or loosening, it just automatically stops. So that way you're not overspinning your bolts off. And I think, if I remember right, on the box, this said it had like 250 foot-pounds of torque. Oh, right here on the tool. So low, it does up to 360, medium is 440, and max is 500. Obviously, that's probably not the case. I would imagine max torque on this thing's probably closer to that 360 mark, just because all these tool companies tend to lie about their torque settings. But for automotive use, like doing lug nuts and taking off bolts underneath the frame and all that stuff, this has worked out just fine. I actually had my buddy who's a diesel mechanic. He tried this out and he said this thing's got a lot of power for its size, and it really surprised him, especially being a Masterforce, which is considered kind of a cheap tool brand. But you know, that being said, I think I paid like $200 for the kit. So that was the impact, a battery, and a charger, and I think it came with a bag as well. So it's a pretty good deal, and like I said, it's 1/2 inch, so it works out with more of your kind of standard impact sockets for automotive use. So what I'm going to do is we're going to take tire off, and I got new tires for my truck, so we're going to put those on, and I'll just kind of show you kind of how easy this goes with this guy, and then how quickly I can put on the new tire. And with putting on the new tire, I like to hand twist on the lug nuts. It's good practice to do on any vehicle, whether you're having to swap a tire out because you had a flat, or if you're working on the brakes or something like that. It's just good practice to hand screw on their lug nuts. That way you don't accidentally cross thread them with the impact wrench. Because if you do it with a power tool, you know, by the time you realize you're cross threading it, it's too late. And then you have to deal with trying to fix that issue. So just hand screw them on as tight as you can. It just speeds the process up later when you're going to get the lug nuts tightened and everything lined up. It just helps save you time. And then also by doing it this way, you can get the wheel pretty well flat against the disc or the drum, whatever you have. That way it's not, you don't risk it getting put on crooked. And so what I do is I just kind of use my foot or my hand, and I'll kind of wiggle the wheel around and turn these down as best I can. Because like I said, I want to get these as far on as I can with my fingers before I start using my wrench. So that's that. And now I got to switch socket. These new lug nuts are a little bit smaller. All right, so we got these. Yeah, it's a 3/4, and we're gonna put the drill into low. That way, it doesn't over torque these. Because basically, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go around once, get everything tight at the lowest torque setting, and then I'll go back around on high, and then make sure everything's locked down tight. And then this is in auto mode. All right, so now we got the drill on, and we're just gonna go down until it tightens up, and then you'll see the wheel. It'll start to kind of tighten up against the brake disc here. And then that's stopping, that's the auto mode. So we'll put it on this lug nut and you can watch. I won't let go of the trigger, but it'll stop. I'll get my thumb out of the way. And then another good thing to do when you're tightening up lug nuts is to go in a star pattern. That way you're getting kind of evening the different, I guess, tightening all the way around. So because if you go in a circle, you might have the wheel get locked down at an angle, versus if you go in a star pattern or skip every other lug nut, you have a better chance of getting that wheel to go on nice and flat like it's supposed to. Alright, so now we got all of them down, tightened down at the lowest setting, so then I switched it over to high, and I'm just going to go back once over on all lug nuts. So now the tire's on. Shouldn't have any issues with it falling off. And then these tires come with this little cap, and then there's a wrench up here somewhere, and it's just a little Allen key that puts this on. And if you're gonna get tires like this, should be kind of obvious to yourself, but just in case, if you have one of these caps like this and it needs a special tool to get it off, make sure you put that in your truck or your car. That way, if for whatever reason you have a tire that goes flat, or you take it to like a service shop, just having that with you in the vehicle with the tires makes it that much easier for either the maintenance guy or the service guy who's coming up to help you on the side of the road if you don't know how to change a tire, or if you need help changing a tire. So that's all done. I got one more tire to do on the other side, and that'll be it for my truck. As for this guy, I think it's a pretty good investment if you want to get a cordless wrench, but not spend, you know, $400 or $500 on like a Milwaukee or some other kind of higher end tool brand. For what I do, like here in my garage, this works out pretty good. And even, like I said, like light service work on your vehicles. I would imagine this has got enough power to do the more heavier duty tasks on your vehicle, you know, like frame bolts and stuff like that everybody always screeches about on YouTube. I'm hoping one day the torque test channel that does reviews on torque wrenches will get their hands on one of these and do a test so we can actually see how well it compares to some other brands like Milwaukee, Cobalt, stuff like that. But, you know, like I said, for $200, if you're already in the Masterforce line, or if you want to get into the Masterforce line, this is a good tool to have just laying around your garage. It sure beats, you know, firing up the air compressor, dragging that out, and then, you know, using that for, you know, a small project like this where you only might use it for a few minutes versus this. I just got to slap a battery on it and it's good to go. I don't need to wait for the air compressor to fire up. I don't have to deal with the super loud compressor running in my garage and all that jazz. And this is super portable as well. Like if I have to go somewhere to work on something, I could just throw this in, you know, in the side box on my truck and it's good to go. I don't have to worry about dragging a compressor and a hose and the wrench and all that jazz with me. So this works out pretty good. Yeah, I think that'll do it. If you guys have any questions about this or anything else, any other videos you want me to do, just let me know down in the comments and I'll get it lined up. But that's all I got for this one. Peace out.